Wilson.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Sandy.
I'm Victor.
We have 20 interviewers during the whole process, including 15 foreigners and 5 Taiwanese. And their ages range from 18 to 23 because we have some exchange students older than us. And we have these countries like Malaysia, Hong Kong, Canada, USA, Korea, Guatemala, and China. And they are all studying NCC right now. And she's Tenzin, and she's Te. Tenzin is Tibetan actually, but she live in Europe, and she can rarely speak Chinese actually, and she's from Mexico, and this is today Tenzin. It is Arenza and Claire, and I don't know the 2 girls. I just met them yesterday, and she's Rachel from UK. And he's Marcus, Tenzin, and today, and that's me. And he's Long, and he's Mike, and he's Ik, and he's Aneta, and he's Veronica. And Aneta and Veronica are from Czech Republic, and Ik is from Korea, and Mike is Malaysia, and Long is from Hong Kong, but actually he lives in Germany.
Yeah, and this is my doormate who is Jeremy Lin He. He's come from Korea. Yeah.
And this is Jama from Malaysia. She is our classmate. First question, what's your frequency of using electronics for communication? And we found out that more than 50% of our interviewees more than 50 of our interviewees use their electronic for 4 to 11 times per hour, and only 15% of people using their electronics less than 3 times. And it is obvious that people use their electronics frequently. And what kinds of the electronics do you spend most of your time on? And because almost all of us has a cell phone, so many people use their cell phone, and it is convenient to use cell phone to check your Facebook or search the internet or listen to music. And because we are all students, so we need a notebook to do some homework or watch video. So notebook is also popular for those students. And how many percentage does it account for the time that you spend on all of the electronics? And we classified our answers into 5 categories. And most of people spend 20 to 60% of their time. And there are also some people, 3 people, spend almost 100% that they are not sleeping. And first, what is your purpose for spending your precious time on it? And most of people do their homework just like we prepare for this presentation. And people also use social media such as Facebook, Instagram to kill time and to follow some news. And there are also some people connect with their friends or their family, especially foreigners, because they can only connect with their family buy their electronics. It's Victor's.
I'm Victor, and my question is, what is the longest time ever you have spent on the same electronic continuously? And most of the people say that they can spend 3 to 5 hours on the same electronic. And this is really interesting that my doormate Linke, he can play the computer all day long. When I sleep at 12, he just started to play his League of Legends on midnight, and when I wake up, he still plays. And I have a class from 9 to 12, and after class that I went to dormitory, that he still plays. And after I finished the lunch, and he finally goes sleep, and he wake up in the 8 p.m. and I just go part-time job, and after I go part-time, he keep playing video game from 12. So, and he just said that he missed all the class that on that day. And some people compare the electronics to their wives. And what will you compare your electronic to, so as to manifest its importance? That again, my cell phone is an extension of myself. It is my daily gadget, creative tool, friend, connection to the world. And he has no friend. And someone said like water, which you need for every day. And yeah, part of life is one of Linke's answer, and he said it is part of his life. And my laptop is probably as essential as a toothbrush that you have to, And yes, and someone said it's my second brain, my lovely bag, my second right hand. I don't know why she had to say it's second right hand, not left hand. I would compare my iPhone and iPad to popcorn when watching a movie. It's not necessary, but once you have popcorn, it's not so easy to stop eating. So it is really interesting. It is really well to say that everyone has an internet addiction. And how long can you stay away from the electronic except sleeping? And we can say that most of them say 1 to 2 hours and 3 to 5 hours. And yeah, someone say more than a day. And very surprisingly that Linke is in his part. That he say that when the time he came to college, that he didn't have a phone, and he just safely weathered that week. So, but now he has a very heavy addiction to a computer. Have you ever suffered from any physical or mental problems due to overusing of the electronics? Yeah, and most of them say no, but I think they are lying. And because just for me, that I often have a headache when I overuse the cell phone, and someone said they got an exhausting eye, and they feel their eye is dry. They feel their eye is dry, and yeah, oversleeping is the most common symptom for overusing their electronics.
Okay, and if there are no messages on your phone, will you still keep checking your phone? There are 15% saying yes and 5% saying no. And we found that there are a few people saying no. They really don't care their cell phones, and but most people, they check their cell phone frequently because they will feel anxious. And if you put your cell phone away for a period of time, will you feel uncomfortable, anxious, or any negative mood? And we found out there are the number of say yes and a little bit and no, they are quite the same. So we think that it depends on an individual. And have you ever tried to limit the time spent on electronics, we found out there are 60% people say yes and 40% of people say no. The people who try to limit their time on the electronics is because they have midterm exams or they have to study. But they say that they try to limit their time, but they may not success. Yes. And have you ever had quarrels with friends or family members just because they interrupt you when you are using electronics? We found that most people say no and a few people say yes. The people say yes, they say because maybe when they are watching a movie or videos on their cell phone, and when someone is keep talking by his side, he will be angry. And yes.
And for the question 13 is, has using electronics ever had any negative influence on your academic performance? And just few interviewees say yes, and others, most interviewees say no. I just think they haven't noticed that yet. And for question 14, it's all known that the eye contact is important in conversation, but have you ever kept on using any electronics during your conversation with others? And it's to our expectation that most people say yes, just like us in the daily life. And 15 is, do you feel offended while others are absent-minded in conversation because they are using electronics? And it's still to our expectation. Yeah, just like we always check our phones and be absent-minded when we chat with our friends. And if your answer all are yes for the above two questions, what change will you make to make it better? And I think this way to just leave directly is a little too aggressive. And persuade is, I think, is the best way. And play the cell phone together, I think, just to maybe it will not be that embarrassed. And hang out, just everyone put their cell phone or collect their cell phone in a way, and everyone doesn't use it. And I think it's a good way. Okay. And we have a conclusion that there's not a significant difference between the students from Western or Eastern. And actually, cell phone is necessary, but because cell phone has too many functions, so we sometimes spend too much time on cell phone, like playing games or chatting with friends. So hope that all of us can use the electronics on some meaningful things. Thank you.
So, do you have any questions?
So everyone, don't be shy.
Oh, yeah.
Here? Good.
I think your graph should be,平面的 or your
Two-dimensional.
area principle.
Yeah, I think it's one good suggestion. When you're presenting the chart, actually two-dimensional is better than three-dimensional. I know three-dimensional appears to be cooler, but in reality, two-dimensional works better. That's okay. So we can learn from this opportunity. Good. Others? Mike?
Nelson, where did you find those interviewees?
Actually, they are all my friends, so it's easy to get the information. Yeah.
Oh. International.
So how did you know these friends? Since you
Well,
entered CCU?
There are group of exchange students, and one of them are roommate with of my one of them are roommate of my senior high school classmate, and so I know his roommate, and then that roommate brought me to the group, and we hang out sometimes and have lunch or have a party together.
So how many interviews do you have in the survey?
Most of it.
Most of them. And
But there's
I mean,
too many exchange students.
But I mean, did you conduct a survey as a group?
Yeah. We two.
Others? Question? Comments? Becky?
Thanks.
How about one more question or comment? Michael or him?
I want to know that, like me, I would like to play League of Legends too. So, but I like to study some useful work, and I want to know that why Winter come to Taiwan to study. Why don't he stay in Korea and play League of Legends? Because League of Legends in Korean is much more better than Taiwan.
He's really interesting. Both of his parents is Korean, but he grew up in Indonesia, and he come to Taiwan to study Japanese language in NGCU. So he can speak Korean, Indonesian, Chinese, English, and Japanese. So, and when I was sleeping, then I can sometimes hear that he is cursing in a lot of language. So when he's playing computer, yeah. And because his home is in Indonesia, so he only go back to Korea in summer vacation. Yeah. So he played League of Legends for fun, not for his career. No.
It's a very interesting roommate you have. Good. Others? Okay. If not, then thank you very much. It's good. Okay, so here we end our group survey presentation.